Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Jury selection about to resume in the capital murder trial of Otis McCain. He is facing the death penalty, accused in the execution-style slaying of an SAPD detective back in 2016.
Paul Venema bringing us up to speed today. Why the delays, how far along the selection process has come, and the possibility of this trial moving out of town.
It has been 4.5 years since San Antonio Police Department Detective Ben Marconi was shot to death at point-blank range as he sat in his patrol car outside police headquarters. Jury selection in the trial of 35-year-old Otis McCain, his accused killer, has been delayed due to the pandemic. It's now set to resume on Monday, according to presiding Judge Ron Rangel.
A lot of time has passed since the actual offense. Does that make jury selection a little bit easier?
As it relates to memories being gone, folks forget things after a certain period of time. Things aren't so present in somebody's mind. Can be a benefit as it relates to finding jurors.
Since the case has generated considerable publicity, moving the trial out of town, a change of venue, was discussed at one point.
Parties have had an opportunity to request a change of venue. They have not asked for that. At this point, if they were to ask for that, which I doubt that they would, I wouldn't grant it.
His reason, simple.
We believe that all cases should be tried within the jurisdiction in which the alleged offense occurred. 8
jurors have already been selected. Rangel plans to seat a panel of 12 jurors and 3 alternates.
As a result of that, we have no idea how long this process is going to take. And frankly, we want to make sure that the COVID safety protocols are followed.
Best guess, early summer. Paul Venema, KSAT 12 News.
To the crisis on the border now. Politics aside, there is an all-out humanitarian effort by groups both here and along the border to help the migrants who've been arriving. Many of those groups are faith-based organizations offering them food, clothing, and shelter. Jesse Degollado tonight says the demand is growing, and with it, the need for whatever help you can provide.
What you don't often see watching the exodus of men, women, and children at the border are those who are ready to help the new arrivals.
People with huge hearts, huge amount of compassion and dedication.
Like those at Mission Border Hope and Eagle Pass, it's among the relief agencies needing help of their own to help others. Mission Border Hope asks donations be made on PayPal. Catholic Charities has an Amazon wish list of items it needs. So does the Valverde Humanitarian Border Coalition in Del Rio, as well as appealing for both donations and volunteers on its Facebook page.
Not a whole lot of bureaucracy. We're fast and nimble, and those organizations are terrific.
In these bags, donations rarely thought of, feminine hygiene products dropped off at Travis Park Church downtown by Planned Parenthood. For the same group that is still assisting immigrant arrivals like it has in the past, the Interfaith Welcome Coalition. For now, these are the only backpacks left to give those leaving San Antonio. They hold snacks, coloring books, and other items for the travelers. But its most urgent need is baby formula. Interfaith Welcome Coalition also has been funneling thousands of dollars in donations directly to groups along the border. Organizations trying to do their part as the federal government deals with the humanitarian emergency at the border. Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
The NCAA women's basketball tournament gets underway this Sunday across the San Antonio area, but tip-off is not why people are buzzing about it today. Officials admitted today that they dropped the ball on some of the preparations. RJ Marquez at the Alamo Dome to explain why tournament organizers were apologizing this morning.
The tournament tips off here at the Alamo Dome and 4 other locations across our area on Sunday, but things have already gotten off to a little bit of a rough start. Leaders for the NCAA Women's Tournament Committee apologized this morning after a tweet from an Oregon player spread across social media. The tweet showed the differences between the workout and training areas for the men's and women's teams. The player said the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center only had 1 set of weights compared to the men's workout area in Indiana that had much more workout equipment. There were also complaints about the disparity in hotel food and options for the women's teams compared to the men. All coaches, staff, and players are staying at San Antonio hotels.
We've begun to immediately address that with the hotel and also identifying additional flexibility so that other food can be brought to them. Teams have had the ability since they came out of quarantine to have outside food brought in. There were some requirements relative to the hotel also providing those services, but as I said, we've been working to adjust.
Earlier today, KSAT Sports caught up with Kiana Williams. She plays for the Stanford Cardinal, and she's a Wagner alum. She spoke about the disparity between the men's and women's setups.
Women want to lift too, and just seeing that we're not asking for, the equal or to have the exact same thing that the men get, but, they can do a lot better than that. And hopefully that they fix that. I know it's been addressed.
NCAA women's tournament officials said that they fell short of expectations, and they spoke with coaches and staff last night to reinforce that these changes will be made immediately. From the Alamo Dome, RJ Marcus, KSAT 12 News.
We are learning new details in a murder investigation. According to an arrest affidavit, the victim and the suspect had an ongoing beef between the two of them. 36-year-old Bobby Ray Solis arrested yesterday and charged with murder for killing John Garcia. This happened November 30th of last year at an apartment complex off Callahan Road. Witnesses told police they saw Solis there, and moments later, Garcia went to meet him, and that's when witnesses say they heard gunshots. What led up to the shooting exactly is unknown.
A La Quinta hotel here in San Antonio being sued for alleged price gouging during last month's winter storm. The lawsuit filed by the Attorney General's office claims in the span of 3 days, the room price changed for a family staying there from $74 a night to almost $200. If you've encountered price gouging or a scam during the winter storm, you are urged to call the Consumer Protection Hotline, that number 800-621-0508. You can also file a claim online, and we have a link where you can do that on our website at ksat.com.
Is it already decision time for a new police contract? The police union thinks it could be, telling the city during negotiations today that next Tuesday could be the final opportunity to hammer out a deal before the May 1st election. That's when voters will decide whether to repeal the union's collective bargaining power. That could stop any ongoing talks in their tracks. City Hall reporter Garrett Berger gives us the very latest.
The San Antonio Police Officers Association says that after Tuesday, wiggle room starts to run out for getting a contract ratified before voters decide whether the union will keep its power to even negotiate a deal in the first place.
And I don't know if there's the will of the council to vote on something so close to the election. I don't know that. You saying they're going to ratify on April 19th?
The police union laid out two options: foregoing some long-term issues for a done deal on Tuesday, or keep going and accept that a final contract will take time. But one big holdup that makes a Tuesday deal unlikely is the city's top priority, discipline. The two sides are still locking horns on the primary issue there, how the appeal process should work for fired officers.
You haven't moved an inch. You've given no light, no opportunity to compromise, nothing. It's been our way or the highway.
The city wants a third-party arbitrator to only consider the facts of the case, and if they're established, to not be able to overturn the chief firing an officer.
Those officers that have been reinstated and still serving the community should not be doing so.
The union, though, says their officers need to have protection against what could be firing spurred by political pressure.
If there's nobody that can overturn it, it's at-will employment. It just had the dance along, and then you're fired.
When we asked the city whether it had made a decision on getting a deal done Tuesday, the city's lead negotiator says their position from the start has been they have negotiating dates until mid-April.
Our position has been bargaining in good faith under our existing laws, and we plan to continue to do that.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Some of Bexar County's most vulnerable residents are now one step closer to immunity when it comes to the coronavirus. Today, Central Med distributed the Johnson & Johnson vaccine at Haven for Hope. The vaccine is the only one-dose option on the market right now. The goal? To administer 200 doses of the J&J vaccine to those who normally wouldn't have access to it.
Sometimes not having access to a cell phone or a computer to begin pursuing a vaccination is a barrier.
Haven for Hope staff say they are grateful to have the ability to offer the vaccine to the people they work so closely with.
Look outside with live cam this evening. 72 degrees out there. Another beautiful day across South Texas. This is the way to kick off weekend, Adam.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'd love to get some rain around here and have a few soakers, but it's hard to argue with this kind of weather, especially when you need to get outside and get some yard work done. 46 earlier this morning, then 72 for the high temperature. We were running a little below average both this morning and this afternoon. Temperature-wise right now, looking at 73 in Pleasanton and Rio Medina. Bandera, you're 70, Kerrville 67. Some 60s in the hill country already. Canyon Lake even at 68 degrees, 72 measured at Stinson on the south side. As warm as 77 Cotulla and Del Rio. Now this evening, if you're venturing outside, wouldn't be a bad idea to have long sleeves or even a jacket within reach, because once that sun sets, temperatures are going to fall off pretty quickly. We'll be down in the 50s by 10 p.m. and early tomorrow morning, especially for you early risers, there'll be a bit of a chill in the air. 44 in San Antonio, but some upper 30s in the hill country to start Saturday. Then sunny, pleasant, more of the same, low humidity, a high temperature right near 70, and just a light easterly breeze at 5 to 10. We're going to talk about the rest of the weekend, what kind of changes we'll have, and our next chance of rain, which comes next week, coming right up.
Tonight on the Night Beat, she's been recognized by Pope Francis for her efforts along the border. Tonight, a look at what's taking place at the border right now and how it differs from other crossings in the past. We check in with Sister Norma Pimentel tonight on the Night Beat.
And an interesting view along the Texas coast, a whale tail caught on camera tonight on the Night Beat.
Time now for the daily briefing on COVID-19 cases in our own community. Let's go live now to City Hall.
New cases of COVID-19, which brings our total to 201,411 since the pandemic began. Our 7-day rolling average now is 143. This number that we're reporting tonight does include the curative lab results that we were missing yesterday, so this is an accurate reflection of the daily case count today. Sadly, we are reporting one new death this evening. We've lost now a total of 2,996 of our neighbors, friends, and families to this disease. Please keep their loved ones in your thoughts this evening. And as you know, every single one of these numbers is a family member who has been lost and who we are grieving. So again, we ask you for your prayers each evening, knowing that there are many family members left behind who have to mourn their loss. Thank you for doing that. Over in our hospitals, we're starting to see some stabilizing numbers. We look like we've hit a little bit of a plateau, and we've got 201 COVID-19 patients in local hospitals tonight. That's down one from yesterday. 34 patients were newly admitted in the last 24 hours. 75 patients are in the ICU, and 41 are on ventilators. And again, as we have been reminding you each night, our fight against COVID-19 is not over. There have been supply disruptions in the vaccination process, and it's critically important that as we await more members of our community getting vaccinated, we all wear our masks, practice social distancing, and wash our hands. And then, of course, when it's our turn, get vaccinated. So thank you for your cooperation on that and protecting our loved ones here in our community. As of yesterday, 389,049 people have received their first dose vaccine in our community, and a full 220,124 people have been fully vaccinated, and we are thankful for that. Let me now turn it over to Judge Wolf.
Yeah, thanks, Marion. Thanks for reminding everybody not to let their guards down. Just to give you some numbers, as you know, we started this on April the 29th, tracking where we were April 29th last year. And from April 29th to June the 8th, we never, ever got over 100 people in the hospital. And then starting at that period of time, when we had that first surge, by July 13th, we were up to 1,267. So it doesn't take long to spike that right back up. So we do need to kind of continue to be careful. Like I say, we have 200, and that's pretty much what it's laying off here for about the last 3 days. So, don't let up our guard yet. We are getting vaccines into the arms. Bexar County Hospital District, University Hospital, is continuing to do a good job out there. We had the busiest week we've ever had since we started. We expect to finish about 30,000 vaccines at the Wonderland Mall and then at the Robert B. Greene that we have downtown. That's a huge increase from what we've been doing before. And then next week, starting Monday through the end of the week, we'll be doing all the school district personnel, teachers, and other personnel from what we've been doing in the past, and some of them have just gone to a normal site, whether it be Wonderland or to the Alamo Dome. But we think that by the end of next week, we'll have all school personnel vaccinated. So that's exciting to be able to get all that completed. But let's just continue to be careful and till we get out of this thing for sure.
Great, thank you, Judge. And I want to say a special thank you on behalf of our entire community to our Oasis Center seniors who have been watching each evening this update. Full 25,000 of our seniors watching that are part of the Oasis Center. It's part of our Department of Human Services and Senior Center program, and their mission is to promote healthy aging through lifelong learning, active lifestyles, and volunteer engagement. I want to say a special thank you for the great bandana they sent me. Thank you all for watching and paying attention and doing it.
All right, so the numbers in the hospitals, Mayor Ron Nierenberg saying we are seeing them stabilize. They've hovered around 200 for several days now, 201 today, 138 new cases in our community, and that does include some of the lag in lab results that we talked about yesterday when there was a much lower number. But all in all, trends seem to be steady at this point.
Yeah, and we're seeing those vaccinations continue to roll out. 389,049 first doses have been administered so far. Meanwhile, 220,124 people now fully vaccinated as we continue to get more jabs in the arms.
All right, let's turn to the weather now. A lot of people wondering if what we've seen these last couple of days, Adam's going to stick with us through the weekend.
Well, it is actually. So it's a good weekend to get outside and to get the exercise in or get the yard work done. I know we still have a lot of cleaning to do after that freeze, and a lot of us are still cleaning up, and it's going to be a good weekend for that. Very agreeable weather-wise altogether. So let's talk about our next chance of rain. Let's get right to it. Quiet weather pattern across Texas. We go to the Pacific Northwest. That's where we have some action. That big swirl there moving onshore near Seattle and Portland. That's our next system. The big upper level disturbance that's moving our way. That's going to be our next system and give us our first of 2 rain chances. So here it drops in through the weekend. We're still far away from it, so very pleasant weather. Then we get into Monday of next week, especially later in the day, and it could kickstart a few showers and thunderstorms. That's the first system. The second system drops in behind it for the middle part of the week on Wednesday. And these both have pretty good lift and energy with them. It's just most of that's going to be a little too far to the north of us. Parts of Texas, I do think, will really benefit from some good rainfall. It's just here in our neck of the woods in South Texas, I don't think we'll be seeing a whole lot in terms of accumulations. At least that's the way it looks at this point, especially with this second system. It has yet to even develop, and we're trying to predict who's going to get the best rainfall. So right now we have it at about 30% chance, so isolated to widely separated activity possible late Monday, and then again as we get into Wednesday. All right, so let's talk about the weekend. I mentioned earlier, this evening, if you're venturing out, temperatures falling off quickly after sunset, so long sleeves or a light jacket would be a good idea. Tomorrow morning will be in the low to mid 40s. By the afternoon, right up near 70. Sunny, light easterly breeze. Sunday, some low clouds in the morning. May look like it could rain, but it's not going to. We'll just have the low gray clouds leading to afternoon sunshine. 40s in the morning and low 70s by the afternoon. Monday, a bit breezy. You'll notice the wind picking up out of the southeast, a little increase in the humidity, and then that chance of those late day showers or even isolated thunderstorms. Then that next chance coming on Wednesday. Of course, we'll be fine tuning those rain chances and the timing, so check back in. We'll keep you updated. But notably here, temperatures don't change a whole lot, especially highs, mostly low to mid 70s.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
As we mentioned earlier, the NCAA women's tournament kicks off this weekend here in San Antonio and giving us an opportunity to see some former high school standouts from our area return.
Yes, the tournament has 7 San Antonio area players in the tournament, including 2 from Wagner High School. I'm talking about Kiana Williams and Amber Ramirez. We'll hear from them coming up. Plus, the Spurs are at the Cavs tonight, and the Spurs are getting some help back coming up.
Winners of
2 straight. The Spurs will continue their 5-game road trip tonight at the Cleveland Cavaliers and wrap up the trip Saturday at Milwaukee. And their leading scorer, DeMar DeRozan, is back around noon today. The Spurs listed DeMar as available after he missed the last 4 games for personal reasons. Spurs and Cavaliers are coming up at 6:30. Highlights on the Night Beat. Turning to the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship, Stanford, UConn, North Carolina State, and South Carolina all grabbed number 1 seeds, with the Cardinal taking the top overall seed. The Stanford guard and Wagner High School alum Kiana Williams says there's no pressure in that at all. They want to see that number 1 by their name. Kiana is happy and thrilled to be back home, but due to COVID-19, the teams are living in a bubble, so she has not been able to see her family in person.
It's extremely tough. I think it's going to be really tough Sunday. My dad and my mom and a few other family members actually came to Vegas, our Pac-12 tournament. So I got to wave at them, and it was hard, you know. You see your family members you haven't seen in so long. You obviously want to hug them, but on the other end of that, I'm looking at this as, I'm home. It's a homecoming, but it's also a business trip.
Sure.
You know, we came here for a goal, and that's to win it all.
Stanford will play Sunday night at 9 at the Alamo Dome on number 16 in the Alamo region, Utah Valley. Another Wagner grade is back in the area for the women's big dance. I'm talking about Arkansas guard Amber Ramirez. She is one of the best basketball players to come out of the 210. Arkansas is seated 4th in the Alamo region, and Amber says they feel good about that. Now, due to the bubble, she can't see her family either, but says it's still awesome to be back.
Being a female athlete and back in my home city and getting to play in front of my the fans, getting to play in front of my family, my friends, that's definitely just a great feeling. Like, some of my family doesn't really get to travel to much of the games. So now I get to play in front of them, and that's definitely a great feeling. It's been since high school since some of them have seen me play, so that's great.
Amber and the Razorbacks open up Monday afternoon at 1 when they take on number 13 Wright State at the Frank Irwin Center in Austin. The Texas Longhorns are making their 7th consecutive NCAA tournament appearance, and they are the 6th seed in the Hemisphere region. The Horns also feature an area player and graduate student, Kyra Lambert, from Clemens High School. She started off at Steele before transferring to Clemens. She's one of 7 area players competing in the women's tournament, and she's very proud of it.
It just speaks to the caliber of players that come out of San Antonio. Honestly, the South Texas region is loaded with talent, and it only continues to put out more talent with high-level recruits going to major D1s all over the place. So it just speaks to the level of talent and the level of coaching that's in the city as well.
Texas will play number 11 Bradley Monday night at 7 at the Strahan Arena in San Marcos. So here's the list of the area players in the women's tournament: Kiana Williams and Amber Ramirez, both from Wagner High School; Baylor's Nalissa Smith from East Central; and Horns guard Kyra Lambert, who went to Steele before transferring to Clemens. You also have Brandeis alum Gabby Connolly, a senior guard at Georgia; true freshman Sahara Jones, who played for Veterans Memorial before joining Texas A&M; and North Carolina guard Deja Kelly, who started off at Johnson High School before transferring to Duncanville. Love all that talent.
Yeah, it's great to see those local ladies return home and get to play in front of their friends and family,
Absolutely.
even though they don't get to see them in person.
I know, that would be so hard.
And all the ones we talked to said it's been tough.
Yeah.
That's so. Thank you, Larry.
You got it.
Larry. We'll be right back. In many cases, they are working 12-hour shifts to vaccinate our local community against COVID-19. And today we are hearing the perspective of one of these frontline healthcare workers. We are pleased to be joined by Edna Fuster, who is a medical assistant working hard at Wonderland Mall to administer vaccines for University Health. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate your time. Walk us through.
Definitely.
Well, you know, the work you're doing is so important. So walk us through what a typical day looks like at this vaccination site.
Okay, a typical day is we come in we start at 7:30. We set up our stations. There's 4 stations exactly. There's the first station where the recipients are going to register, and everything is marked 1, registration. Everybody goes there, shows their ID, gets their card. Then once they register, they go to the vaccine section, which is station number 2, where I am at. And they will get their vaccines. They give us their little card, they get their vaccines. Then we dismiss them and we tell them to go to station number 3, which is the discharge station, where they will get either the appointment for their second dose if they're here for their first dose, or they will wind up if they're here for the second dose, they will be wind up And then they go to station number 4, which is the observation station. And they'll be there for approximately 10, 12 minutes to make sure they don't get any adverse reaction to the vaccine they just received.
And Edna, for those who have not yet had an opportunity to get the vaccine and not been able to go to Wonderland Mall yet, are they expecting that they'll be standing in long lines, or what does the setup look like for somebody once they show up there?
Well, unfortunately, the ones that are coming in have to have appointments to get their vaccines. When they open up the portal for people to register, they come in. We already have the printout of the people who have an appointment. We give them that little card and they proceed to the registration process. People who don't have an appointment, unfortunately, we have to tell them to try to wait. We have a card that they could try to log on and get alerts when university opens the portal again to register for the vaccine.
I guess what I was getting at for older folks when they show up there, whether if they have an appointment, are they going to be standing in line? Should they bring a chair if they're going to be standing in line? Nothing like that.
Nothing like that. Our lines, we have so many people for registration, vaccination, and discharging. People say they can't even have time to open their books to read. It is their process online for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Awesome news.
That is good to hear, and that's
very smooth, very fast.
That's a concern we hear a lot from older viewers. They don't have the ability to stand in line or wait in line long, so I'm glad that we addressed that. You've been working in the medical field doing retina screenings, I understand, prior to administering the vaccine. What has this been like for you personally? I mean, this is a historic effort that you are a part of.
I know it's been an amazing, overwhelming, having people come in. We have people happy, screaming for joy, crying for joy, that they could now get together with their family members, see their grandchildren, just to go out and feel safe. Teachers coming in now that they could feel more safe with the students in school and with their families. It's just been, it's very overwhelming, vaccinating, talking to people every day.
And who's more excited, the ones who have been fully vaccinated or the ones who just get their first shot knowing that they're on their way?
People who are coming in for the first time to get their first vaccine, and when they come to get their second dose, it's like, hallelujah, I got my second vaccine. Oh, this is so overwhelming. Yes, it's very overwhelming. Both of them.
There are people.
We get very positive response.
It's good to hear.
Yeah, that is absolutely great to hear. And there are people who are excited, as you're talking about, but there are certainly people who are nervous about this process. This is unique for all of us. So what would you tell somebody who has a bit of fear about going to get a vaccine?
They have fears because we are all kind of unknown on this. This is new to all of us, to the every doctor, nurse, to the whole community. We're all in this together. And we hold hands together in this whole pandemic, giving the vaccines. Everybody reacts different with the vaccines. So it's just, just come and get your vaccine, and we're all just together. We're in here together. You're not alone. I'm not alone. My doctors and my nurses are not alone. We're in here together. And we support each other.
I'm sure it helps having people as positive as you are to greet them and help people walk through this process. So I know it's probably been a very long week for you. Those 12-hour shifts cannot be easy doing what you're doing. So thank you so much for what you're doing and for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you. It's been a joy.
Thank you very much for your time.
We'll be right back.
For months now, health experts have cautioned that obese patients are more likely to be hospitalized and need mechanical ventilation if they contract COVID. And experts say they are 50% more likely to die from the virus. Now, Ursula Perry shows us how researchers are looking at those who have had prior bariatric surgery to see if they have less severe symptoms.
More than 70% of American adults are overweight or obese, which health experts say can impair the immune system, and that increases the risk of serious illness from the coronavirus.
COVID-19 has been a wake-up call that show the health consequences of obesity.
Researchers at Cleveland Clinic studied 363 COVID-19 patients. Some of them had a past history of weight loss surgery. Others did not have surgery and had a BMI of 40 or more at the time that they tested positive for COVID-19.
We found that in patients with severe obesity, 42% required hospital admission after contracting COVID. However, in a group of patients who had bariatric surgery before, only 18% required hospital admission after COVID-19.
Doctors say 13% of the patients without surgery were admitted to the ICU. 7% needed ventilators, and 2% died. None of the patients, though, who had bariatric surgery were admitted to the ICU. None needed ventilators, and none died. Doctors say the results suggest that after weight loss, patients become healthier and are better able to fight the virus. Dr. Aminian says if these results are confirmed in future studies, doctors can then add this as to the many benefits of bariatric surgery. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Look outside again with live cam this evening. The sunshine has been great, but so has the low humidity.
It was really great for picking up all those live oak leaves.
Oh, right.
The last couple of days.
Conditions just right for that?
Yeah, not a lot of sweat going on out there, but plenty of dust and leaves.
There's just not enough places to put them. That's the problem.
Not.
You could have every green bin on the block and it doesn't matter. I even dump them in the bed of my pickup and then go to the brush side to get rid of it, but I have to do that like 3 or 4 times. That's a story for another day. Let's talk about our weather. More beautiful weather on the way. Today we started at 46, then we topped out at 71 for the high temperature. Hondo was up to 75, Kerrville made it to 68. We stayed in the 60s in the hill country. Even Gonzales was 69 for the high temperature. This evening, light jacket later on after sunset, temperatures falling down into the 50s at that point. A bit of a chill in the air tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about the weekend and let you know it's going to change as we get into next week coming up.
In the buzz today, scientists are on a mission to clean up space, and they are hoping to use this satellite you see right there to do it. The company Astroscale is slated to launch its ELSA-D satellite into space on Saturday. The small satellite has been designed to find and pick up space junk and bring it to Earth's atmosphere where it will burn up, kind of like Wall-E.
Yeah, Wall-E. Experts believe space is filled with more than 9,000 tons of debris. That's about the weight of 720 school buses. They say the debris poses a risk to the International Space Station and technology. ELSA-D's test mission is expected to end later on this fall. New details are in about the upcoming 2021 Oscar ceremony. The Academy announcing the event will be aired live and no zooming in will be allowed. In a letter sent out Thursday, producers for the award show requested all nominees attend in person and avoid casual attire. I don't remember that in the past at the Oscars. The Academy has put COVID protocols in place to keep attendees safe, with plans to provide an on-site COVID safety team and PCR tests.
Somebody must have broke the clothing rule.
Yeah.
All right, only those nominated, their guests and presenters may attend the ceremony in person due to those COVID restrictions. The Academy will accept the Oscar on behalf of those unable to attend. The 93rd Academy Awards airs live on Sunday, April 25th, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 Pacific, right here on KSAT 12. All right, time to share some extra appreciation to hardworking certified nurses in your life. March 19th is National Certified Nurses Day. Certified nurses continue their education to get certifications in specialties like nurse practitioner, pediatrics, medical, surgical, and psychiatric, among others.
To celebrate, thank a certified nurse you know or encourage a future nurse to get certified. The day started to honor Margaretta Medine Stiles, whose birthday was March 19th, 1930. She pioneered the study and practice of nursing around the country. A day even more impactful this year.
Thank you to all, and especially those in my family that are nurses.
Absolutely.
Way better than National Pizza Day.
Absolutely.
Sheesh. Can't we have them all be meaningful?
We can all agree with you there.
Thank you. Well, it's Waffle Day tomorrow.
Well, we let Pie Day pass on the weekend without even mentioning.
I get that, though, because it's mathematically significant.
I love where you fall on national days. It's the KSAT system.
There is a system to it.
Is there? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad to know.
We'll put a legend on the screen next time. Maybe a scale.
I'm sure you'll come up with one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's already there. It's just up in my mind. It's where a lot of things reside, Myra. A lot of things reside.
A whole lot of things.
Oh, boy. So we have some cooler mornings ahead. A dry weekend, low humidity, lack of rain, but then rain chances come into the picture as we get into next week. So we're going to talk about that, but I want to start with sign of spring. Look at that. We're starting to see the bluebonnets, wildflowers. Oh, there's another shot. This is from San Antonio. So it's that time of year you can get out and you'll start to see some of the spring color, especially the lovely Texas bluebonnet. So keep an eye out for those. Right now, it's quiet across the state. Very quiet weather. We've got a ridge in the upper level pattern, so a bump, which gives us basically sunshine from Texas all the way up to the Canadian border. But you look at our next system, and that's moving into the Pacific Northwest. This upper level swirl here, moving into Seattle and Portland. That's our next disturbance. That's going to head our way. It's causing some good precipitation along the West Coast and even into the Rockies now. But once it gets here, it's going to pass just to the north of our area, and it's going to have some decent energy with it. It's just most of that's going to be to the north of us. We'll still have a shot at some showers by Monday evening and Monday night. That's the first of two systems. Then the next system would drop in the middle part of next week by about Wednesday, and with that, probably some good lift as well. We'll just be on the tail end of it. So parts of Texas are likely to get some good rain, which is nice because about 70% of the state is in drought right now. So there will be some locations that really cash in. Here, I just don't think we'll have anything too widespread or anything too heavy. That's the way it looks right now with those systems. Of course, we'll be fine-tuning the forecast in the days ahead. But right now we have it as 30%, so about isolated to widely separated activity. High temperatures today, 60s to the north of us, 70s along and south of Highway 90 for the most part. Right now we're 70 in Austin and San Antonio. Lubbock is 61. We get to 58 in Amarillo, but that's really the coolest reading, and then 75 in Laredo. So we're not looking at a big temperature spread across the state, and we're not looking at any heat either. I mean, 70s, that's it. We're not even hitting 80 degrees down in Laredo. So let's go to tomorrow morning. If you're an early riser, you like to get up and out early on Saturday, clear sky, low humidity, beautiful, but a little on the cool side, even below average a little bit. Hondo, Uvalde, Canyon Lake, 42 degrees. Gonzales, 41. Kerrville, Fredericksburg, about 37. Get into Stone Oak, 44. Elmendorf, 42. And Lake Hills, you're starting your day at 41 along with Timberwood Park. By the afternoon, we warm up nicely. We'll be around the 70-degree mark, and I think a lot of us just making it into the lower 70s for afternoon highs. So wall-to-wall sunshine tomorrow, bright baby blue sky, east wind at only 5 to 10. You get into Sunday, and we'll have the low clouds to start the day. So we're looking at the gray sky early, but then sunshine by about lunchtime and into the afternoon. Similar temperatures, 40s in the morning, afternoon readings in the 70s. Next week, Monday, the breeze picks up a little bit out of the southeast, and it's going to increase the humidity, which will, of course, add a little bit to that rainfall potential. So we're giving us that slight chance of rain, some isolated showers late Monday, then again on Wednesday. Temperature's not changing much. In the highs, in particular, in the 70s. So, Myra, good weather for some family photos on Sunday morning.
Which have been canceled more than once.
I bet.
Just in time to take them in front of some bluebonnets.
Quarantine, snow and ice, not this weekend.
Now it's all bluebonnet.
Mommy's getting her way. I love it.
That's right. Everyone is dressing up.
And not
in case you missed it, coming up next.
Here's today's In Case You Missed It.
Morning to you. It is Friday. It is March 19th. ¿Todos están bien?
The Peñitas Police Department no stranger in dealing with the apprehension of migrants, an area of year-round migrant traffic.
No necesito una ambulancia, nada de eso?
It's just another day on the job for investigator Oscar Baron, who's been assisting with the increase of border crossings.
At one point, at one morning, there was a total of 75
people that had crossed just this path alone.
Women's tournament officials and Vice President of Basketball for the NCAA, Dan Gavitt, held a Zoom press conference this morning to address disparities between the two tournaments that popped up on social media. Oregon forward Sedona Prince posted a video on Twitter that showed what was supposed to be a workout area at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, but the video only showed one set of dumbbells. The video later shows what she said was a men's workout area in Indiana, where the men's tournament is, filled with workout machines and equipment. That prompted this morning's call, where NCAA officials apologized.
As more people get the COVID-19 vaccine, questions over the new variants have come up and whether the current vaccines available offer protection. BioNTech, the maker of the Pfizer vaccine, says that they're also prepared to handle the new variants should they come up.
President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris arriving in Atlanta this afternoon to meet with Asian American community leaders and state lawmakers. The trip initially planned as a tour to promote the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package, but the administration changing course in the wake of Tuesday's deadly rampage.
Here we go into a beautiful weekend. This lovely stretch of weather is going to continue. A bit of a chill in the morning. Tomorrow, low to mid 40s. Sunday morning will be in the 40s as well, but afternoons are going to be in the lower 70s. A lot of sunshine with the exception of first thing Sunday morning. I think we'll have some low clouds, but that's really the only hiccup over the weekend forecast. Rain chances come back into the picture Monday and then again on Wednesday, but right now it's looking fairly isolated. Don't get your hopes up quite yet.
All right. Thank you, Adam. And thanks for watching the news at 6.
We'll see you back here for the news tonight on the Night Beat. Have a good evening.